Hey viewers, I picked up this bike recently and it's got Rock Shox Indy S forks on there. In a previous video I did Rock Shox Indy C's, but I have not worked on Indy S's, so I'm not quite sure what the difference is. But, so what the heck, I'm going to take them apart, clean them and lube them and put them all back together. I'm going to start off by removing the front wheel, so release the brake up here and just pop the sucker off, like that. And then next I'm going to remove these brakes, get them out of the way. So I just remove these bolts here. Then I can just slide them off the posts here and get them out of the way. Okay, next I want to remove these adjuster caps there. I'm going to use a 22 millimeter 6-point socket. And that'll fit right on there. I want to use a 6-point socket because these are plastic and they'll strip pretty easily. So with a 12-point, it's more likely to strip. And so that's what I'm going to use, the 6-point socket. And then just unscrew these. So there's one out. And there's the other one out. Now let me push this up here, and interestingly there's only a stack in the left fork, and this little plastic part comes out here, and I can see an elastomer in there but I can't quite get it out. Okay, so I'll flip the bike upside down, shake it, and there's the elastomer. Well, I checked the manual for the Rock Shox Indy S forks, and apparently there is only supposed to be the elastomer on the left fork, and that's it. So that's what it's supposed to be. Okay, so now I want to remove these lowers here. To do that, there's a hex bolt down each fork, way down in there. It's a 6 millimeter hex bolt, and I'm going to need a extra long 6 millimeter hex socket like this. A regular hex socket like this just won't work. It won't reach down, and so I have to use this extra long one so it'll reach down into the recess, and I also have an extension as well. And so I can put this down inside the fork here like this and feel it engage. Okay, there I can feel it locked into place, and so then I'm just going to loosen this. And it's pretty tight to begin with, but then once you got to get it broken loose, then it's pretty loose to undo. And the same thing on the other side here. Get it down, feel it engage, and then loosen that. See here. Loosen that bolt. Like that. Now when the bolts are loosened all the way, I should be able to drop that down like that, and there we go. And it's dripping a little bit of oil, and I can just put down a rag or something there. And then I can also slide these boots off of here like that. And then I want to remove these parts out through the tops of the forks here. I could probably just turn the bike upside down, or I could just use a long piece of hanger here and push it out through the top here like this. And like that. Well, here's all the parts. Everything seems to be in pretty good shape. It's not really that dirty. It's just kind of a little bit oily. So I'm going to clean everything up and get ready to put it all back together. Okay, ready to start putting these back together. I'm going to start off by sliding the boots on. Don't forget the boots. If you put them together and then realize you didn't put the boots on, you're going to end up taking them right back apart again. So don't forget putting the boots on. Next I want to install these plungers, and there was a screw in each of the plungers, so I'll just drop the screw in there so it comes out the bottom, and just drop this into place here. And same thing with this one, get the screw down through there and drop it down through here like that. Next I want to put like a medium weight thread locker on these bolts down here, or thread locker blue, and so just put a little bit on there, and then I'll let that stuff dry. In the lowers, there are 4 bushings, 2 on each side. One is about 1 inch down from the opening there, and the other one is about 4 inches down. And I want to put like a little bit of grease on each one of those bushings. Now use a grease that's actually designed to be used in side forks, something like SRAM Butter, which is actually made by the company that makes the RockShox, or Slickoleum / Slick Honey, same kind of stuff. This is a little bit less expensive than buying the SRAM Butter, but it's the same kind of stuff. And these things are designed to be safe for the components inside the fork, so they're not going to deteriorate the polyurethane elastomers, the plastic parts, the rubber seals, and you're going to get the proper performance out of the forks. If you try to use some other kind of grease that's not intended for this purpose, you're not going to get as good performance, and in the long run it's going to deteriorate the parts in there and just ruin the forks. So use the proper greases. So I put a glob of the grease on the end of a stick here, and so I'm just going to stick it down inside the fork tube here and put like a thin layer of grease around the lower bushing and then a thin layer around the upper bushing as well. And I'll do that on each side. Like this. And then I'm going to just take a little bit of the grease on my finger here and put it up around the little seal here at the very top of the fork, like that. Just a kind of big coating of grease around there, like that. Next, I need to put some fork oil into each fork. The manual says 8 weight, but I have 5 weight, and that's the closest I have, so I figure it's close enough. And I need to put 10 cc's or about 2 teaspoons in each fork tube. So I have like a little syringe here that's 10 cc's, and I'll squirt it into the one side here. And 10 cc's into the other side here. And now before I install the lowers, I'm going to go ahead and put a thin coating of grease onto the upper stanchions here. Just like that, just a thin coating there, like that. And now I'm ready to install the lowers here. You want to make sure that you have the correct side facing front. Here's where the little brake mounts are here. So I'll just slide this up here like this and slide them onto the uppers here, like this. And then I've got my hex wrench, so I can reach this down inside there, engage that Allen screw, and start tightening that into the lowers here. And then tighten this side as well. Now using a torque wrench, I want to tighten these down to about 120 inch-pounds. Inch-pounds, not foot-pounds, inch-pounds. Now I'm ready to install the elastomer here. I'm going to put a thin coating of the fork grease on here, the Slickoleum, onto this. And on some of them, a lot of times the little plastic part is still kind of mounted right on there, but this one's kind of like separated there. But I can always put like a little bit of grease around on this plastic part as well. Maybe up there, so maybe that'll stick. But this little plastic part here goes down like this, and then I'm just going to drop that into the fork tube like this, and I push that down. That was the left fork tube that I put the elastomer stack down into, and so now I'm ready to install these adjuster caps. The one adjuster cap really doesn't do anything, it just kind of screws on there. But then I'm going to put this the other one on here, onto the left side here, and I'm probably going to push this down a little bit to kind of get it to engage. So I'm going to use my wrench here and to where I can kind of get a little bit of leverage here. Push this down, and I want to make sure I don't cross thread it. So I'm pushing it down and screwing it there. And good, it's going on. And keep in mind this is plastic, so you don't want to over tighten this down because it'll strip out those threads. And then the other side, I can screw that down and just give it just a little bit of a, like that. Okay, now make sure that the boots here, they should snap down into place and engage the top of the lowers here, just like that. Well, I reinstalled the brakes and the front wheel, and I am done. And they're moving pretty smoothly, and they're actually pretty stiff considering that there's only one elastomer on the one side. I'm actually kind of surprised. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. Hopefully you found this video useful and interesting. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. You see new videos that come out. I'm always coming out with new videos. I'm over on Facebook, RJ the Bike Guy. Go over there, like that page. I post a ton of stuff over there. And I have a webpage, rjthebikeguy.com. Go over there, sign up for that page. I have my videos categorized. I have forums where you can ask questions. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.